Thank you for joining us on Ask a Therapist, a Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina series in which we speak with mental health professionals about issues many people face every day. I'm one of your hosts, Sean Jackson. Today we're joined by Stacey Edmond-Tyler to talk about the mind-body connection and the effects that they have on one another. Let's dive in. How would you say that diet and things like that affect that mind-body connection within kids specifically?
In children, I do think, and that's a great question. I think that with kids, keeping them mobile, letting them exercise, it definitely helps their cognitive process. I think that anytime our children get proper sleep, proper nutrition, all of that affects their mind and body connection. And for us as parents, back in the day, of course, we just kind of ate. And I think right now, people are more focused on being healthy, physically as well as mentally. And I think as parents, we have to make sure that our kids get what they need so they can be productive citizens. You make sure they get good sleep. You make sure that you're feeding them things that's good for their bodies, to fuel their bodies. You're making sure that they have great water intake and stay away from sugary drinks. All of those things play a huge part in our children developing properly. And I think anytime that we can promote that development, that they'll be happier children.
Absolutely. Are there things that are common misconceptions about mind-body connection that you would want to address for our listeners?
Misconceptions. I do think that some people don't see them as a connection at times. I think that they look at them differently. But there are things where, as long as you're in great physical health, you don't have to worry about your mental health. Or if your mental health is good, you don't have to worry about the physical. But they play against one another. You can't have one without the other. And it's, it has been known you can have the greatest physical health and you still not be happy. You still be depressed. You still stressed. But it's proven that when you have, and research shows it, you can look it up, that when they connect or they interconnect, you have a great outcome as being healthy, being happier, being able to be more productive throughout your day. And I think you can't have one without the other. We can have a great mental health and we can still be not where we need to be physically. And you have, you're sluggish. You don't want to move. You have high blood pressure. You have cardiovascular disease, diabetes, all of those things. And I think when you start to work to help your situation, your mental health improves.
Is there any practical advice that you would give to somebody, if you were having that one-on-one conversation with them and they were just still skeptical about this mind-body connection? Is there any, like I said, easy, can take this home today type advice that you would give to that person?
It is. I think if you're a skeptic, and if I was working with the client, what I would tell them is, let's try something. Let's give it 30 to 60 days. And what I would like for you to do, and this would be a client that, of course, wasn't motivated to do anything and just definitely did not believe that this process works. I would encourage them for 30 to 60 days. What I want for you to do religiously is to, and I'll say 4 to 5 times a week, make sure you're getting proper rest. And when I say proper rest, I mean, 8 hours or more, exercise at least 30 minutes a day for 45 days a week. Practice your deep breathing. I like to tell clients to do something what's called the 4-2-6. That's taking a deep breath in, holding it for 2, and releasing it to the count of 6. Releasing it through your mouth, blowing it out very slow, and repeat that over the course of 5 to 10 minutes. And normally, and it's a great exercise because I do this every morning. I encourage you to do that. Eat balanced meals. Make sure you're getting sufficient water intake. And the rule of thumb, like I said earlier, is to drink half your weight in ounces. Take your medication. Practice mindfulness exercising, and see how what you're doing affects your overall health. And to see if you feel different from, than you did 60 days ago. And in what way? Tell me if you feel better mentally, physically, because I do believe that you will see a difference once you make those positive changes.
And what's the worst that could happen? You still feel the same as you did 60 days ago?
Well, I think that it'll be a lot different. The outcome will be a lot different if you ask them, how do you feel now opposed to 60 days ago? I think that they would be able to tell you some positive things that they've experienced. One, I think if you do some of those things, mental clarity is definitely something that you'll get out of this. Just feeling better physically. When you wake up in the morning, you'll have a happier outlook. I think the levels of depression and anxiety will decrease some. You'll start to see that your overall health has improved.
Absolutely. Stacey, this has all been amazing information, and we're so appreciative. But before we close out today, is there anything else that you wanted to make sure that our listeners know about Mind Body Connection? I would like to say that I think that mindfulness exercises, medication, management, just making sure that you get proper sleep, you're eating healthy, you're doing everything to cultivate loving relationships, you're releasing emotional toxins from your body. Anything that you can do to help improve that mental health will definitely encourage, you'll see a difference in that physical health and vice versa. So I think just, having those positive relationships, positive people in your life to kind of boost, your feelings. When you keep negative people around you, you're going to think negatively. So just having everything in your life that can promote positivity will definitely help you overall, being active on a daily basis. And I like to tell clients or people that I work with, if you don't get a smartwatch, see how much you're moving, because sometimes we think that we're moving, we're getting up, and you're not really doing much. You're sitting at your desk, you're typing. You can't afford a smartwatch. Get one of the little pedometers to stick on your side. But I think it's important to see how much you're moving, how active you're being, how much water you're drinking, and look at your food charts to make sure that you're getting the proper amounts of vegetables and fruits, because all of those things play a huge part when you're thinking about having a healthy outlook. You have to do things to make that outlook the way you want it. And if you're putting things in your body that are going to bring you down, that's what you're going to feel like. And that's what, you're not going to be motivated to do much. So I think all of those things and doing them at once play a huge role in just being positive, being healthy, and having a great mental health. And I definitely promote meditation because I think that it's really healthy for us, and it gives our mind time to take a break. Whether it's 5 minutes of meditation or you want to do 20 minutes of it, I do think at some point you need to quiet your mind down so you can have that space to just focus. This is all such good information, such good practical advice. Stacey, we thank you so much for coming on Ask a Therapist today and sharing all this with us. And we greatly look forward to having you on again very soon.
Well, thank you for having me. You guys have a great day.
Thanks, Stacey.
Bye-bye.
And thank you to the listeners for tuning in today. This has been Ask a Therapist, a Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina podcast where we dive into mental health topics. Be sure to check out other episodes of Ask a Therapist for more mental health advice, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.